Welcome back. Before we went to the break, I told you that we'll be speaking to a Turkish historian who's working at Wits University Political Studies, Dr. Halim. Dr. Halim, thank you so much for joining us and welcome to Salam Media. A very, very, very important announcement yesterday made by Istanbul. What are your thoughts on it?
Thank you for having me. Yes, it was a important announce, as you said. But we must actually also acknowledge that all Turkish nation actually against Israeli occupation in Palestine. So we are not surprised what actually the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Turkey say yesterday, because we were actually expecting this anyway. Maybe even sometimes we say, I mean, this is actually a bit even late decision, but we must remember that in the Middle East, Turkey plays a crucial role in the politics, and they also have to of consider which important measures for the relationship between two countries.
Dr. Halim, we seem to be losing you a bit, but I can see that you're on now. You speak of the role that Turkey plays in the Middle East, but also the role that, for me, what it looks like the role that Turkey plays, particularly in the last few years, is being the bridge between Europe and the Middle East. I think that's how Turkey has positioned itself in recent times. How do you think this is going to affect Turkey's relationship with European nations and the West, because this decision is made at a very, very critical time. And, recently it seemed like Turkey was warming up more, to the West and trying to establish those relationships with European nations. How do you think this decision is going to affect, that, side of Turkey relating to Europe?
Well, it's actually already negatively affected the relationship because, as you mentioned in your announcement before our interview, Europe, I mean, most of European countries, unfortunately, they support Israel because of financial relations. But Turkey, I mean, doesn't care about this anymore. Turkish politicians, they already decide. I mean, there is no way to tolerance or tolerate what actually Israel is doing there in the Middle East. So it is, I think, end of the everything now. So we don't need to consider what Europe is going to say or what America even is going to do against Turkish politics. They are, I mean, for last few years, they are quite actually, they show quite hostility against Turkish government. So the Palestinian case is now the primary concern for Turkish foreign policy.
And do we know exactly at this point, in literal terms, what's that going to look like? What role will Turkey be playing in this genocide case against Israel?
Probably, yeah, that's important question. I mean, firstly, world and is, I mean, first of all, world countries like particularly America, because we all know that, I mean, many countries in not even just the Asian side, but also even in Southern America, like Brazil, Colombia, they can't help Israel, Palestine, because not because of Israel, because of America. I mean, because we know that, I mean, if there is any war in the Middle East, America is there for Israel. Because of the financial relations. So Turkey, wants to play the role as a peacemaker to resolve the issue, of course. In fact, Turkish Republic have been trying this for more than 30 years, but it doesn't work because of this, firstly, Israeli hostility against Palestine, Israeli attitude, barbaric attitude. I'm sorry to say that, but it's a fact,
Yeah, it
against
is.
Palestinians. So it's very strange, really. I'm sure you are also been following the news on the news in America. In the one side, American nation, including the great universities like Harvard, they are all against Israel. All the staff, academics, students, but American government just playing a kind of game, they just close their eye, they don't close their ears, so they don't want to hear what is happening in society. So I noticed that the more than the population of Israel, population of Israel is 9 million. There are more than 200,000 people selected already. They signed. They against Israel occupation, all the attitudes what Israel is doing against Palestinians. Can you imagine more than 20 time the people in the world against Israel's? So what I'm trying to say, almost all world is, I'm not talking about the countries, strong countries, but I'm not talking about politicians. If there is any democratic election today against Israel, Palestine is going to win. But there is no democracy. Nobody cares about democracy today, especially those great countries, great states like America. They don't care about democracy. So Turkey doesn't really care what is going on anymore, what America is saying, what British or French is saying, French politicians are saying. Turkey is going to be completely against the Israeli politics, policy against Palestinian. It is a clearly genocide, actually. We are teaching this. I am also teaching at University of Cape Town about this case. So this is ridiculous indeed. It's not acceptable anymore. And as I said, even many scholars, true scholars, they against this in Europe, in America, everywhere. But somehow, we know the Edward Said, the great Palestinian scholar, and he said that one day Israel is going to wake up and they will say, oh my God, what I did. So that day is not very, it's not very actually far away. That's what I believe.
Doc, I want us to go on a quick break, but when we come back, I would like us to focus a bit on Turkey's president, Erdogan, who, for the longest time, it almost felt like, he was dealing with a significant dilemma where, he needed to appease his political base at home, with Turkey being a very, very strong pro-Palestine sympathizer, but while also not totally alienating Israel, with whom Turkey has significant geopolitical and economic ties, and and until now, warming relations. So when we come back, I want to chat a bit about the Turkish president and where he stands on this, because he was criticized for a very, very long time about him not aggressively coming out and making sure that Israel knows how Turkey feels regarding this, and also making sure that there are consequences for the genocide that Israel is committing in Gaza. But we'll chat a bit about that after the break.
Sure.
This is Salam Media.
Contact Lynette.
Discover the Africa of your dreams and surround yourself with her spectacular beauty. Relax beneath her serene sunsets and explore wildlife at its natural best. It's where the pride of Africa comes together. The Kwantu Private Game Reserve. Get to know the Big Five or cruise on an elephant safari game drive. Interact with lion and tiger cubs and enjoy world-class halal cuisine while we pamper you during your 5-star stay. Indulge in the true African experience. For reservations, call now on 042 203 1400 or visit kwantu.co.za. The Kwantu Private Game Reserve, the place of gathering.
After the recent attacks on Gaza, many families have been displaced with their homes left destroyed. Through your donations, our teams are on the ground in Gaza, providing support and delivering necessary aid to families affected. The people of Gaza need your help. Give hope. Donate today to Penny Appeal South Africa. www.pennyappeal.org.za 031 1100 573.
We are here on the ground with many appeal organizations in Gaza.
You know, it's a wonder how kids get anything done these days. With all the distractions, when do they even get time to study? As a mother, all I can really do is make sure they have all they need to perform their best. That's why I choose to include Sunfoil Triple.
This is Salam Media.
Welcome back. You're still tuned in to Salamia. The time is 25 minutes past 8, and we're still talking to Dr. Halim, and we'll be chatting a bit about that decision by the Turkish government to support South Africa when it comes to that case against Israel, that genocide case against Israel at the ICJ. And before we went to the break, Doc, excuse me, we were chatting a bit about the British the Turkish president Erdogan, about his stance and him being criticized because it seemed like as I mentioned, that he was dealing with a dilemma, having to appease his political base at home, and the Turkish people who are very pro-Palestine, but also not alienating Israel, with whom Turkey has enjoyed significant geopolitical and economic ties for a very, very long time. So what's Erdogan's stance on this? Is he fully supporting it? Is he supporting it genuinely, or to appease the population of Turkey, who are very unequivocal when it comes to supporting Palestine?
Well, Turkish government, current government has been supporting Palestine for the beginning of their establishment. So they, Erdogan, of course, that as a leader, he supports Palestinians. But we must understand the politics. Some political things are not that basic we can explain here easily. But what we know, and even some Turkish people even criticized at that time. I'm talking about a few months ago. They criticized Erdogan government and they say, why we don't cut relationship completely? This is understandable question. But what I see as historian, I work on this subject for many years, and I can also tell you from even historical point of view. 100 years ago, that land was ruled by Turkish state. Ottoman Empire. Until 100 years ago, of course, 400 years Ottoman Empire ruled the place. So even there are some Turkish people, Turkish descendants, they live in Palestine. So what Erdogan is doing? Erdogan is, I think maybe it's not right to say it here, but we know that I'm not politician. I can say I'm historian. Many Turkish people, they support Palestine directly. What I'm trying to say, they already went to Gaza. They fought. They've been fighting against Israel. There are Turkish people in Gaza, in Palestine. They are already in Gaza, but we can't say this because of those agreements. I'm telling you this because I know them. They tell me we are here. They send me photo, etc. So I know some people. They are already in Gaza. So they 100% support Palestine. But Turkish government officially, they have to still keep certain relations between Israel and Turkey because of that, creating that opportunity for peace. Because if you cut relationship completely, who is going to talk there? There is no any. Imagine, you send your embassy, and they also take their embassy back to Tel Aviv. So then you actually, actually breaking up everything. I don't know if it's good thing or bad thing, but that's what actually Turkey played until yesterday. But it didn't work. They tried their best. But meanwhile, many Turkish organizations, even some Turkish security organizations, they went to Gaza, they support Palestinians. Even Palestinians know this. Palestinian people know. But officially, you cannot do this. So indirectly, they did this. Turkish government did same thing for Algerian people in 1950s, but not officially. But later on, Algerian people say that yes, Turkish people came and they helped us, but officially they didn't show it. They couldn't because of the agreement between France and Turkey, 1950s. It was independence war of Algerian people. Then Algeria got the independence. So the same thing happened here. Turkish people 100% support even opposition party in Turkey. They are actually quite secular, but about this case, they have no tolerance for Israel. They also support Palestinians. But if you tell me who is the ideal politician for you, I will tell you Naledi Pandor. I must say that.
No, I think a very, very, good point that you're making there. I think she's been head and shoulders above everyone, when it comes to, the support for Palestine and, making sure that Israel does pay for all their crimes against humanity in Gaza. But thank you so much, Dr. Lim. I think we're going to leave it there. You broke it down really nice for us. I think we have a better understanding of Turkey's role in the Middle East and also bridging that gap between itself and Europe and also its relations with Israel and most importantly, its support for Palestine. I think we'll chat in a not so distant future, but for now, going to leave it there. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Salam alaikum.
Walaikum salam. There you have it there, Dr. Halim, just giving us insight on that announcement by the Turkish government that they're going to be supporting South Africa in the genocide case against Israel at the ICJ. So I think, we have to all be kept in the loop. Just watch out for the news about what kind of role would they be playing as that ICJ case is still going on, and we hope that it's going to be a very, very positive outcome for the rest of the world that's supporting Palestine. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, to Africa here on the continent. We'll be looking at Turkey and how, since that civil war broke out, they're grappling the most extensive crisis of child displacement globally. We'll be speaking to Abdullahi Hassan from Amnesty International Sudan Research. So this is someone that has, information and all kinds of details regarding this very, 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 sad situation where you have a civil war breaking out, and as usual, it's women and children who are suffering. More on this after the break.